these are very trying times, the past 2 years, right? And in times of these types of adversity, what do you think is the most important quality of a leader?
Well, the most important quality of a leader is one, he should have all the tools with him. Your people should be competent enough to see na you can do all these things and overcome all this adversity. However, all that competency, all that capability is nothing without good leadership. A leader should always be thinking ahead of what would come. You should see ano yung mangyayari, ano yung when you leapfrog, ito ba yung possibility? You have to look at it not just like one single situation, but a series of probable permutations. Although once in a while, tatamaan ka ng mga improbable things, di ba? But you need to adapt lang after that. But practically, those are the key things you need as a leader. When you are in the middle of adversity, you cannot. Sometimes you cannot think anymore.
Right.
Sometimes you move by instinct.
Yeah.
But a leader should be on top. A leader should be commanding. A leader should not be an inverted pyramid, like the organizations on top of you. And it happened to us in the pandemic. Actually, the pandemic started with me. I was WHO case number PH43. I was the 43rd case before even the lockdown for COVID-19. And the organization was behind me. Ang worry ko nung pinapasok na ako sa hospital was 28 days in the hospital. Ang inaano ko, would the organization survive? So I just gave 5 guidance dun sa team. Tapos the rest, come up with your best decision as long as you don't send me to jail.
Yeah.
Diba? And then just decide. Then kung may problema, we do mid-course correction.
You know what? One of the great qualities of a leader is that he can train a lot of people to become leaders themselves, right?
Yes.
So you put them in the right position to be successful even when you're not there physically.
Yes,
Right?
yes. But the key thing, looking for people where you delegate most of this
Right.
function and power, is practically they should have the hunger to lead. Then, di ba? Because a leader cannot be, alam mo yun, yung parang interactive lang. Oh, I did this decision. Balik sa'yo and everything. That inverts everything, inverts the triangle eh. Ang mangyayari doon, ang mga tao, yung inaantay na lang nila na magde-decide ka. So you become a choke point. Leadership should not be like that. It should not choke towards you. Diba? They should be doing it, the dynamics itself, because adversity sometimes are very random. And these random things, you cannot predict them. Hindi naman pwedeng mag-choke. Like nangyari sa akin, nasa hospital ako. I have difficulty breathing. They gave me 8 kinds of drugs. They don't know what to do, and they haven't found the cure yet. And this was before the pandemic, diba? So
Early 2020.
yes. So that to me, that's the biggest test of leadership for me sa career ko ever.
GM June, you've been to a lot of countries. You've seen, how they implement ODA. What do you think are yung practices ng mga countries na pwede natin ma-adapt?
Oh, ang dami. The first practice that you need to do, one is punctuality, right? You cannot get respect from your counterpart if you're not punctual. Hindi ka darating ng meeting on time.
Okay.
Diba? Second is, you have to do your homework. Alam mo yun, these people are expecting from you na you are competent and expert on the things that you discuss. When I came in, I had nothing, I didn't know anything about railways. But I promised myself in 3 months, I would learn everything. I bought 8 books, read them for 3 months straight. As in, I should out-expert everybody in the organization before I walk in. Because mantra namin yan when I was in the consulting business in the US na do not tell your people what to do kung di mo kaya gawin or you cannot even appreciate it.
Okay.
Diba? But again, it meshes with your old expertise like program management, project management, how to manage a portfolio, and then how do you deal with people, and then how culture fits into everything to let the program portfolio move. Yun yung mga yun yung mga critical best practices na kailangan.
Let's talk about dealing with relationships with foreign contractors, like for the ODA. What's the essence of that?
Okay, foreign contractors are really difficult. There's two things. There's the Western contractors and there are the Asian contractors. And culture has a really deep-seated way of doing things.
Okay.
In the case of Western contractors, upfront yan, confrontational yan, but very professional. After kayo magsigawan, kaibigan na uli kayo. Yan. But yun na I got that from the US eh. When I came in, pagsigawan agad ako sa mga no, you should not do that. No, you should fire this guy.
Yeah.
No, alam mo
You're
yan,
very frank.
that is bordering to misconduct. Change that. Ginaganon ko yung mga foreign contractors. ang nangyayari, okay, they understood na, kasi minsan, yung mga foreigners, tinitingnan tayo na we have this national insecurity.
Right.
Na insecure tayo about how we do things. No, project mo yun na na equals tayo. Di ba? I'm dealing with you equally. Hindi ako oo na oo kung ano sinasabi mo. The other side is yung Asian contractors. Ganun din, professional ka din. But, yung key difference doon sa ating mga Asians, importante that you do not lose face. Di ba? You could confront them, but do not let them lose face. Especially doon sa subordinates nila or the superiors nila. So, medyo diplomatic pag Asian contractors. But, you have to be firm. And then you have to know what you want to get out of the relationship with them.
Okay. You know, Jim Jun, I'm in the retail industry and part of that is being good partners with suppliers, diba? And they're good way to be, I mean, for you to become successful, you have to have the suppliers having hand in hand a good partnership. And one of them is paying them on time.
Correct.
And being paid on time at the same time. Doon ginaganahan yung supplier mo pag kunyari when they give you something, they get paid on time. Can you expound on that even further for
yung
you?
policy na yan, kaya namin pina-implement yan. It's based on my personal experience. And that's actually the reason why I joined government. When I came in 2001, actually 2002, and I started my own business here. Akala ko, hopeful ako, bumalik ako galing ibang bansa. Pag negosyo ko, alam mo yan, I'm helping nation building.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I get paid after 300 days.
Oh wow, that's almost
Diba?
a year.
And
Okay,
you're
10 months.
dealing everything like I get paid in 60, 90 days. So maybe 120, I'll live with that. 300 days, sabi ko, something has to be done. This is a systemic issue.
Right.
And this is the private sector. This is not even government. When you come into government, I see things like 600 days.
Oh wow.
700 days dahil sa liquidated damages and everything. So, alam mo naman na, alam mo yan, if you cannot resolve it early, then there's intent.
Yeah.
So, yung intent, lagi kong tinatanggal yun. Di ba? Resolve mo na kagad early. Di ba? Kasi, pag malalaman mo, may usual suspects yan eh. May mga taong lalabas na laging maglalabas ng rason na bakit niya hindi babayaran, papatawag ko yan. Diba? Papatawag ko, ba't ayaw mo bayaran yan? Dineliver na niya. Hawak mo na ginagamit mo, ayaw mo bayaran. Diba? So, you have to overcome those things. Kasi, ako naramdaman ko yun na every time na hindi ka nababayaran, yung cash flow mo, naku, ang iniisip mo, saan ako mangungutang?
Correct.
Diba? Paano ko, kulang na lang lumuhod ka doon sa mga pinagbentahan mo, utang na loob, bayaran nyo na. Para dugtong ko lang sa story ko, I eventually obtained yung 300 days na utang sa akin. Ilang X million yun na utang sa akin. Nung kinalkula ko yung end benefit niya out of that huge amount of money, parang ang naging gain ko lang sa kanya is 500,000 pesos. It's not commensurate. And that's not the way to do business.
Yeah.
Gusto natin palakahin yung economy.
Right.
We should keep the money flowing into the economy. And it's the velocity of capital that's gonna get us out of any financial situation.
And following up on that, GM June, are you saying that contractors and our partners can expect like faster flow now of funds and payments? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
The only limitation I have is actually Congress.
Okay.
If Congress say you cannot pay 100%, you can only pay 50%. Kasi di ko rin naman sisisi yung Congress because in the past, our sector kasi we only spend like 10%, 20%.
Yeah.
And actually allowing us to spend more than 50% is actually doing us a favor from their view.
Yeah.
Pero we have not really obtained their trust and performance para makita nila to give us 100%. So it's incumbent upon us through the years to give that to Congress because they have power of the purse.
GM June, you're a very good leader. You know, people see us that. What leadership skills that you have do you think like you find most useful?
That's a very tough question. Is the Miss Universe answer? You want the real answer? No. The toughest thing for a leader is one, you have to be empathic sa people that you lead. Second, a leader should be focused on the task that he is at hand. But sometimes a leader can be blundered into thinking that his task is his objective.
Right.
Those are two different things.
Yes.
Diba? An objective can be something in the distant, something that you envision. Yeah. But the task is the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I in my younger years I fell for that. Sometimes I thought that the task is the objective
The goal,
already.
yeah.
Yeah. So you live for the task but not for the objective.
Right.
So I have to pull myself out of the task and realizing that there's a series of tasks. Second issue lagi on leadership is if you know the task, nanggigigil ka sa task, sometimes may separation anxiety ka. You cannot delegate it. Diba? Nahihirapan ka. Baka pumalpak siya and everything. But leadership is not about like executing it properly.
Yeah.
Leadership is, alam mo yun, like dissipating everything, all the tasks. Because you should be focused on your objective,
Right.
not on the task itself.
It's not like micromanagement, it's like macro management. Like we have a saying that you put in the best people and you train them to be the best and then you get the hell out of their way, right?
Yes, and that's true. That's true with leadership. You learn the best you can. You should be better than them mentally,
Right.
but you surround yourself with people more
Right.
intelligent than you.
Because we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses, right? So you surround your weakness with strengths. And that's how a team becomes really strong,
Correct,
right?
correct. And another key thing is trust, integrity. Dapat may integrity ka.
So that's your key to being a good leader.
Yes,
Okay.
integrity. They should trust you. They should be even the difference between sabi nga nila between honesty and integrity. One boss of mine told me the difference between honesty and integrity is
Yeah.
being honest when nobody's looking,
Right.
diba? So you have to alam mo yun, that's integrity is honesty to yourself. So dapat pinapractice mo yun, hindi lang yung sinasabi mo and everything. And it should manifest to people you work with. So you cannot say, I'm a person of integrity. No, it should be the people around you saying that man is a person of integrity.
There's like two things, right? It's like doing things right and doing things the right way,
Correct.
right?
correct,
So
correct.
you have to be able to decide which one of the two are you trying to do.
Yes, yes. And that isn't the objective of that is in the background with the objective in mind, diba?
How do you choose? Sorry, how do you choose your leaders within your group?
It's a mystery to me. Ang nangyayari sa akin na sometimes they just ascend eh. I've seen people who ascend as posers. Alam mo naman, meron kami sa makita yung tinatawag natin yung bullshit artist. Alam mo yan, they would like, yung bubullshitin ka para mag-ascend lang sila. Meron namang iba na, alam mo yun, they're deluding themselves. Di ba? But in half the cases, they snap out of it and they become leaders and magugulat ka na lang sa outcome.
So you're developing leaders from within.
Yes.
Your core. Right.
When I came into PNR, there is a funny story. When I came into PNR, one of the senior managers told me after the third month, you know, sir, you're the only general manager that came in alone. No, actually, sir, you came in with your driver. Diba? Yun lang. Other general managers, they came in, they have like 20 people ahead, covering everything and all the stuff. Tingnan lahat ng aspects ng ano. Tapos they have consultants, they're looking for, because pumunta ka dito mag-isa. And the people here thought, we could eat this guy alive. Para ang sabi naman nila sa akin, mukhang kulang kami sa'yo, mukhang kakainin mo kami ng buhay. You know what you want to do, and you know what you need to do, di ba? And yun na nga, then I choose my leaders internally.
Right.
And yun na nga, yung ascension, it's a huge mystery to me. I don't know how it works.
They just rise up to the occasion, right?
Yeah,
Like, sometimes, nakikita ko parang, okay, this guy has no potential to be a leader. And then you see them, taking the initiative, being assertive as a leader.
Minsan ang indication ko lang is they have a hunger, to ascend. The hunger. Minsan meron lang gusto minsan distinguish mo eh. Sometimes akala mo hunger, yung pala greed. Yeah, gusto lang yumaman, gusto lang ganito, or gusto lang ganun access, ganyan. Pero meron talaga yung may hunger, may gusto patunayan sa sarili niya.
They go way above and beyond, like extra mile.
I have guys who came in from college. I put into supervisory positions. Ang mga nanay nila nagtitinda lang ng sago. Yung tatay nila tricycle driver and everything. So like, okay, let's experiment with this guy. Put them in a situation that they have leadership. Usually, yung may hunger, yung pakiramdam nila parang sa atin simpleng bagay, pero para sa kanila para kang na-discover na maging artista. Yun ang nagpa-perform, and they become good leaders.
And they become highly trainable. They're like sponges, no?
Yes.
That's what I noticed with those that have hunger to be a leader. They're like sponge.
Yes.
They absorb everything that you put in. Like,
Yes.
They're listening to you. They're seeing how you do your actions, not just your words.
Yes.
Kasi a leader, kasi they can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? Like, diba? When you say, go on time, report on time, or do this on time, and then you're doing it an hour after, 2 hours delayed.
Yes. And the people naman you don't want to become your leaders are people who accounts na, alam mo yan, na I'm trading this for that. Gagawin ko to kung ganito yung benefit nito. Transactional ka lang. Hindi ka may leader. You don't have the grit to become a leader.
How would you describe like the leadership style that you put out? Is there a certain type or skill?
Wala namang specific. There's no mold. There's no maraming leadership style kasi na in history. Are you like a Clausewitzian or Machiavellian ka ba? Or are you like a guy like Patton? Or are you like the American Caesar like Douglas MacArthur? Maraming mold for leadership eh. But in business, and this is also like in government, in the end of the day, most of those people they work with, even Sun Tzu, di ba? A key element ng lahat ng leadership is integrity. Kaya lagi ko sinasabi integrity. That's a key thing, di ba?
A leadership that is based on integrity.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yun ang importante.
Yeah. Okay. So, GM June, how do you make sure that the projects and tasks that you have, I know there's a lot, but how do you stay on schedule? Like, how do you stay on top of which are your priorities? This one mamaya na to. But these two are priority. How do you stay on top of those?
There's an easy and difficult answer to that. The easy answer is use Google Calendar. Get the contract. There are dates in there. Put it in Google
He's
Calendar.
not lying though.
And, that's the easy. That's the easy answer.
Yeah.
The difficult answer is this. Every contract, minsan kasi, people think, especially aspiring leaders, they think that a contract is monolithic and the time is zero time. That means everything happens in one point in time. They don't realize that it's temporal. It's across time. It's spread across time.
Right.
And how it spreads across time is actually, that is the schedule when you do that. So, that's what I always do. I train my people when I work with that. You have to look at it from a temporal perspective. Wag mo yung titingnan na monolithic manner. So, that's what I do. One time, I yelled at my people, like, you were the administrator of this contract. You should administer this. Why, bakit, na pala siya, lumagpas pala siya ng 30 days. Look out mo yun, di ba? There should be, then that goes back to the simple answer. Kung hindi mo kaya yan, ilagay mo sa Google Calendar. Di ba? Yung terms ng contract, hindi ka marunong mag-administer ng contract. Because, kung meron kang difficulty of managing the concept of time,
right. Yeah.
Google Calendar will help you.
You mentioned that, you were talking to one of your teams. I have a saying that disagreements are fine, but disrespect is not. But how do you handle like disagreements within your team? I'm sure they all argue.
Oh yeah, it's very heated sometimes.
They agree to disagree on a lot of things.
Oh,
How
yes.
do you handle those things?
Ganito ang technique ko naman dyan. What I do is I have lunch with my people.
Okay.
And then we don't talk business and we just banter.
Food is always key.
Yeah. Food is always key.
To good communication, right?
Yeah. So what we do is I treat them for lunch. Tapos I banter around like kung ano yung kinagalit ko. Pang-Alaska ko sa kanila yon to drive it home. Minsan hindi na sila takot doon sa sisigawan mo sila eh.
Yeah,
Takot na sila doon sa Alaska.
Right.
Pero minsan sabi na ako Alaska, yung tungkol dyan, putong na loob.
They're like being put in the spot kasi.
Yeah. Ano yung if they're being tough and being courageous, minsan they could take the blows eh. Pero yung Alaskahin mo, nakakatakot para sa kanila. It's one of those things that you do to your people, di ba?
Okay. So, was there a difficult decision? Okay, name me one difficult decision you had to make recently lang. Like very recent for you. Like a very difficult decision that you had to make.
Very difficult position is there's an attribute in a negotiation which I cannot talk about because it's an attribute in the negotiation. And everything, considering all is equal,
Right.
Everything has merit dun sa both sides of the discussion. I shouldn't be telling this, but I was taught to use game theory methods on negotiations. That was my training in the US. So, alam mo yun, if you're in a dilemma, that means you're in a good situation.
Right.
So, kasi kung may dilemma yan, actually dilemmas can be resolved mathematically.
Right.
Madali na yan. Ang problema, minsan, yung kausap mo din niya na-realize yung dilemma na he is into. Or he does not realize your dilemma. So, yun yung mga difficult decision. And usually, mga difficult decisions ko in my career is actually time-bound. Either you have a deadline, or you have things that you need to do. Diba? Or minsan, mayroon kang mga issues about they are delaying things,
Right.
or yun yung mga difficult decisions ko.
Yeah.
It's usually time-bound. And that's a very powerful tool in leadership actually, when you're pushed against time.
I mean, it's really you as a leader, being put in your position to make the right decision, because as leaders we're put in as problem solvers, right?
Yes.
We don't see the problem. I mean, we all see the problems, but the thing is, we're able to find a solution to it.
Yes.
Right? Every time there's a problem, there's an attached solution to it.
Yes.
And it's not something you can find always on Google, right?
No.
Like, when you type your problem, what's your problem, you type it in Google. Leaders are put there in the position because they can solve the problems without, searching for the answers.
Ang training ko on that, even the huge problems, break it down into small problems.
Right.
Once you break the problems into small problems, break the problems into sets of dilemma.
Okay.
When you have the dilemma, there's ways to resolve that dilemma, and then farm it out to your people para parallel pagka-resolution nun. Tapos ibalik mo, di ba? And then you have a general way of how you would handle the solution to the problem. Remember, these are ODA. This is not one small problem I solve in a cascade, di ba? Ang ODA, minsan mga projects namin, sabay-sabay. As in massive, touch one, touch all. Galawin mo isa, magkaleche-leche yung kabila. So ganon din ang mo. You have to deal with it massively then.
Okay. And as a leader, what's your main goal being put in the position as a leader, to a lot of people look up to you. So what's your main goal as a leader yourself?
I joined government. My main goal is actually nation building. May maiwan lang ako na legacy to build the nation. Amen. Ako, sinasabi ko lagi sa mga kausap ko, right now, ang lowest strata ng economy natin, they travel 3 hours to where they work, and they travel back 3 hours where they live. The 6 hours of their lives commuting lang. Cut ko lang to half yan.
Right.
Alaking bagay na yan. I've contributed, and that's inclusive growth for me.
Very good.
Diba?
So how do goals help you become a better leader? Like the goals that you set, how does it help you and your core team develop?
Oh, you learn a lot every day. You learn a lot about the human condition. You learn a lot like how people deal with dilemmas. Actually, sometimes it would surprise you. Parang, uy, pwede pala yun. And some people did it by accident.
Right.
And you have to absorb those things with people. Again, leadership, kung sinabi mo na I am the best leader in the world now, niloloko ka lang nun. Leadership dapat nag-i-evolve ka as a leader. Diba?
Okay. Like, GM June, for an aspiring leader that wants to get into the government, like, what would your message be and why?
If your objective is material gain, either gonna be corrupt or you're either gonna be disappointed because government is very thankless. So you should have objectives beyond that. Material gains. This is not for you. Like me, the business of my wife and myself, that's taking care of the home front.
Okay.
Panggastos.
Yeah.
Doon na pupunta it takes care of like what I do in government. Kung ano yung kita mo sa government, napakaliit lang talaga. But you have to have something intangibles, yun ang habulin mo.
Okay.
Diba? Like me, siyempre may konting kayabangan ako. I want to be known as somebody who built a certain section, a certain niche doon sa industry namin, sa transport industry. Ma-deliver ko lang yun, okay na ako doon. Diba? Ang problema ko lang, that's multi-year. So, habulin ko dapat yun para yun lang yung ultimate reward ko. I don't wanna be 70, 75 and kick myself like I did not do this.
Yeah.
Diba? Doon ako natatakot and
Regrets.
that's driving me. Even if my wife's already complaining, let's stop doing that and come back to the private sector.